Identity theft has increased over the years. It typically happens when identity thieves access your personal information, such as your social security number, and they commit fraud and other crimes with that information. Common ways that identity thieves access your information include hacking your unsecured computer or your wireless networks. They could steal your wallet or your purse. They have your credit cards in there, or they can just simply search your garbage and get any of your documents that way. Once they have access to your personal information, they can make purchases on your credit card, or they can open up new credit card accounts, and they can even go as far as file a fake tax return in your name. There's an article in the U.S. News that talks about ways of protecting yourself and your personal information from being compromised. The first way is by creating strong passwords, and make sure you update those frequently. Don't use easy passwords that are going to be too easy for them to figure out, such as a pet's name, your birth date, or a mother's maiden name. A safer alternative would be to use capital letters or numeric symbols or any kind of non-alphabetic character. Number two is don't share or post personal information online, such as your address, phone number, social security number, date of birth, or your birthplace. Number three, if you store personal and financial information on your computer, it's important to protect your computer by installing a firewall. Use antivirus and anti-spyware software. Keep your browser updated. Secure your wireless network. If you're disposing of financial or tax documents at home, it's very important that you make sure you shred those first. And if you keep any hard copies in your house, make sure you store them in a safe location, and never carry around your social security card. People make a common mistake by keeping their social security card in their wallet. That's not a very good idea. Do that. Number four is check your credit report by taking advantage of the free credit reports that are out there. It's important to do that so you can catch any errors that are on your credit report. And it's important that you look to see if there's any information that's being compromised. Set up a fraud alert with the three major credit bureaus if that is to happen, to put a security freeze on your files and information. I also had found on U.S. News that talks about if you believe that you're a victim of identity theft, it's important to put a hold on your bank and credit accounts. Also, change your passwords, and most importantly, file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. There is also an article in the New York Times that talks about how data breaches involving Social Security numbers are the most damaging, that the report found, because they can be used to open up new accounts and authenticate existing ones. Consumers who had their Social Security numbers compromised in a data breach were 5 times more likely to be the victim of fraud than consumers on average. There's also a website on Columbia.edu that talks about the Social Security Administration. The SSA can provide information on how to report the fraudulent use of your number and how to correct your earnings record. They encourage you to call the fraud hotline immediately once you suspect identity theft. Thank you. That's all.